So this is the part we are at now. As long as I'm sitting next to him, wherever we are, he's happy. As soon as I sit like in the chair right there, he starts whining and crying at me. Come on, Dad, sit with me. And it's pretty much like that 24/7. Now, I'm beginning to wonder if he's just faking being old and so close to the other side just to get attention. I believe I'm being trained, but that's okay. Whether it's a month or a year, I suppose that's what I bought in for, and that's what I'll do. He won't even look at me. He's chewing on his squeaky toy that he didn't want to play with because I was sitting in the chair. But now that I'm sitting next to him, he's happy. He's got it. You got anything to say for yourself tonight? Not even a whine or a giggle? Nothing? There's no bunnies. The bunnies disappeared a couple of days ago. The bunnies haven't come out. The stray cat stopped coming out. Not really sure what that's all about. All right. Let's do this, Panthers.
We're hanging overtime! We're hanging overtime! We're hanging overtime!
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Puck drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Hi, Panther fans. Okay, I'm there. Yeah, all right. Don't mow the grass. Don't try to make an adjustment to your lawnmower while you're distracted. Next subject. So the claps might be a little bit muted. I tried, but it just, well, all right, that's good enough. So, Game 1, Stanley Cup Finals. Everybody knows, you know, and once again, as you're watching this, you already know what happened. Now, at the end of last season, I got this damn fluffy hair. I'm always laying on the floor with the dog, and the damn fluffy hair is always hanging from the bill of my hat. I can't get it. It's right in front of my eyes. At the end of last year's Stanley Cup Final, where we lost, and I had the big bushy beard, and I was crying and all of that, I believe I remember saying something, you know, when you're ranting at the end and you're just going off. I believe I said something to the effect of, and the fourth line needs to be totally reworked. Well, they did. They did. There's no Lomberg, there's no Cousins, there's no Stahl. It's Stenlin with Lorentz and Okposo. Okay, so those are the guys we're going with. I kind of thought maybe you would have seen there was some practice time with Lomberg, Stenlin, Okposo, but that was just because you were having Lorentz center the fifth line. We won games with those guys in, so Maurice isn't going to change it. I'm not going to sit here and argue about it. I hate the fact that Lomberg and Cousins can't get on the ice, but I want to win a cup, so there's that. All right, now what to expect Game 1? You know, a couple of times this playoff run, the closeout game against the Lightning, the closeout game against the Rangers, Panthers came out in the first period, were a little bit tight. Those are Paul Maurice's words. I would hope we don't get that tonight. If anybody should be a little bit tight, it should be the Oilers. Now, I'm a big fan, like I always say, saying nothing matters in Game 1 until we get to the end of Game 2, because whether it's 1-1, 2-0, that's a big difference. But after one game, everybody still has an equal chance to get things equal. Now, the biggest question mark, really the only real big question mark for the Oilers is Skinner, right? I know he's been playing well, but there's a difference between getting on a little bit of a heater and then shining in the Stanley Cup Final against a team that already been there, done that last year, right? And with Bobrovsky, just do your thing, man. Just do your thing. Now, this first game, what I'll say is, I don't know how indicative, and I said this in the last series, and it kind of ended up to be true. I'm not sure how indicative of the rest of the series, how this first game is going to go. And what I mean by that is, you know, if the Panthers win this game 6-0, because Skinner has nerves and everything like that, I don't think that's going to be happening again. And the reverse is true. If the Panthers come out tight, Bobrovsky's off his angle, and all of a sudden we lose the game big, I don't think we're going to see a lot of that. Most people think this is going to be close games and a close series. I don't necessarily disagree, but at the same point, there are things with each team that could blow it up one way or another, right? If McDavid and Draisaitl become unstoppable, that could be a problem. If Skinner cannot continue to play well, that can be a problem. If Ekblad ends up on McDavid, that could be a problem. You see what I'm saying? So while it is even, there could be some wild swings within inside of each game. Don't get too high, don't get too low. And then after the game, you get high. I think that's the way it works. All right, no predictions. We all know what we all think. I don't want to shoot anybody the middle finger here, so we're just gonna say let's do this. All right, so 1-0 Panthers after one, but you wouldn't know it by the shots on goal. But like I always say, there's one stat that really matters, and that's how many pucks get in the back of the net. A beautiful feed from Barkov to Verhaeghe, puts it in, and now Panthers have already had to kill off penalty. Oilers had to kill off penalty, and Verhaeghe with just a stupid, I cannot say that word enough, high stick with like 8 seconds left on Bouchard, so we got to finish killing that penalty off to start the period. Now, we'll see how the rest of this game goes, but what I will say is Panthers usually don't play all that well in the first period at home, certainly after a layoff the way that we've had. I don't know if they didn't expect Edmonton to come out and play with this speed and tenacity, but I think they better figure out that Edmonton is going to play with this speed and tenacity. But like I said in the series preview, the Panthers have been kind of playing a good first period, a better second period, and then a much better third period. Can't praise goaltender in the middle of the game, so I will not do that. But I'm very, very curious to see. Now, in the Rangers-Panthers series, the first period the first game looked a lot like this in the first period, where it was just boom, boom. You're just like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But then it kind of settled down into what the game was going to be. So I'm curious to see if that's what happens here. Let's move on to the second period. Okay, so it's 2-0 Panthers. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how. Now, I will say that generally speaking, and we know a little bit about this in Pantherland here, it's very tough to play run and gun offense and shut down defense. And I'm kind of surprised that this is the tactic that Edmonton is taking. Yeah, they're dominating shots and all of that. But Panthers are very good at making the best of their chances here. And I'm not going to praise the goaltender in the middle of the game, and anything could happen in this game. Anything could happen in this game, right? It is just full on. I mean, I don't want to say Edmonton's dominating, but they are dominating parts of the game. We've had some zone time. I don't know if we're surprised by how heavy their forecheck is. I don't know if we are just playing it ultra-conservative, safe, and just saying play defense unless we get a chance. But it's 2-0. I think we got 2 goals on 10 shots. And Edmonton is just firing away at Bobrovsky over and over again. And the puck won't go in the net. And I kind of thought this series would be a little bit more, or at least so far, I thought it would be a little bit tighter. I'm sure Edmonton basically feels like if they just keep playing like this, they're going to win. Don't ask. I don't know. We're winning. It's 2-0. That's all I know about this, right? Especially this time of year, Stanley Cup final. It don't matter how you win. They don't. At the end of this series, it's not like boxing where they add it up and say, "Well, you won 4 games, but here's the scorecard." It don't matter how you win. Don't matter if you win a game 9-8, or if it wasn't the Stanley Cup final, but like Vasilevsky had that 50 save shutout against us the other year. I don't know what to think about this. All I know is we're winning, and we got 20 minutes of hockey left. Let's finish. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah. That hurt. I don't care. Do not care. If Kachuk can play with a broken sternum, I can clap with a busted up hamburger finger. So, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Do we have a lot to talk about here tonight. Now, it doesn't matter how you win. Okay? It is a 7-game series, and it does not matter how you win. Now, if you're an Oilers fan right now you're thinking two things. You're thinking, if we play like that, we're going to win the series, right? And on the other hand, you're thinking, but that son of a bitch, Bobrovsky. Bubba! Bubba, but this is Bubba. Now, I'm not giving you a kiss like we did at the end of the Rangers series, Bubba, but I give you some head scratches. You get a nice little massage. All right? Now get ready for Tuesday, because Oilers are going to be pissed. Wow. If you would have told me, this is not how we drew it up around here. The last time I saw the shots, it was like 34-17, but that was before the empty net. So I would assume it would be something like, I don't know, 40-20 or whatever it was. Generally speaking, when you see a team get completely outshot and outchanced, they lose. But two things, Bobrovsky versus Skinner. Not that Skinner was bad. I think especially the Rodriguez goal, I think that probably would have gotten Bob too, especially up high like that. Most goalies. So Skinner played well. Bob. Now, the other thing I'll say is, if you listen to my series preview, I talked about conditioning. Now, it wasn't much. It wasn't much. I'll give you that. But Edmonton came out and played at 150% in the first period. And then by the second period, it was 100%. And as that third period went on, it went 90 and then 80. And then they just did not have the legs. And as the Panthers, they did the opposite. They started off at about 70. And as the game went on, you saw the last 5 minutes, we had all the legs in the world to keep the puck in the offensive zone, let alone keeping it out of the back of the net. And I said I thought that would be the difference in this series, and so far, that was the difference tonight. Edmonton, look, I'm surprised. Now, I know it worked in terms of shots on goal and all of that, but I'm surprised that that's the route Edmonton wants to take, which is basically kind of playing a run-and-gun type of game. I thought they would want to keep things a little bit tighter, limit the high-quality chances that Skinner's going to see. But on the other hand, David, Draisaitl, all of that. So I understand why they would want to play the style that they did. I wonder if that's what they're going to come out with in Game 2. I wonder how... back to my conditioning point, can the Oilers continue to play at that incredible pace? They came out like a rocket ship. They absolutely came out like a rocket ship. Panthers had zippity-doo-dah chances in the first period. We scored on the first shot, right? And I think we had 3 shots in the first period. We scored on the first shot. Second period, there were some, and I mean some, not many, but some, a couple of moments where the Panthers got into the groove a little bit in the offensive zone, and Edmonton dominated, but it wasn't as big of a disparity as it was in the first period. And then third period came, and Panthers just kind of kept grinding and grinding and grinding. And I'm not saying Edmonton ran out of gas, but the Panthers had more gas. They had a whole tank of gas still stored up, and that's what they used to close out the game. And we kind of were using that tactic against the Rangers. Now, you need this many. That's how many you need. We got this many. Now, anything can happen in this series, okay? Edmonton comes back and plays that game again on Tuesday. They're going to feel pretty good about their chances to win. But we have the wild card. We've got Bobrovsky. With all due respect to Skinner, who could still play a Bobrovsky-like game. Don't get me wrong. Skinner was good. We had a few chances there to get that third goal, and Skinner wasn't giving it up. What do I think we'll see in Game 2? We got to figure out a way. Now, when they asked Paul Maurice about those stretch passes where guys were getting behind the defense, at one point, Barkov, OEL, and Kulikov were in the defensive zone, and the offensive player, I forget who it was, had a breakaway and got past all three of those guys. The way that Maurice described it was we were a little bit tight and we needed to be harder on the puck. We did do that in the third period. I'm not sure how many shots. I'm not sure what the shot disparity was in the third period, but obviously Edmonton was trying to come back. So I'm not quite sure what we're going to do we're not going to stop that from happening, right? We need to limit it. I think they had at least 3, if not 4, of those breakaway chances in the first 2 periods. Now, Bob's making the saves, and that's fantastic. And, you know, when Tampa was winning cups, Vasilevsky was a brick wall. Okay? So, you know, that is, generally speaking, the way it has to happen sometimes. This was not what I expected at all. Now, Oilers fans, that might be what you expect. Of course, you didn't expect to get shut out. I said before the game, I usually say this for game 1, where I didn't think the first game would be indicative of the rest of the series. I don't know where this series goes from here. Is Edmonton just going to roll that same exact style of play out there again? I mean, a shutout is a shutout. It's not like you guys lost 5-3 because Skinner had a bad game. Now, you can have all the shots on goal and all the offensive possession and everything like that, but the Panthers did a good job of keeping most of those shots to the outside. It was a few in close. McDavid did get in a couple of times, especially the one time he got mashed up on Ekblad. Oh my God! But Bob made the saves, and that's the thing, is that if Edmonton's going to get those chances and Bob's going to play like that, the product of Edmonton getting those chances is going to be Panthers are going to get those chances too in return. And if Skinner cannot match Bobrovsky, it's going to look like this, where it's basically a 2-0 game, and the Oilers fans are left going by that we should win that game. Like, if this was reversed, I would be sitting here saying the Panthers blew it. Like, we should have won that game. So I'm sure that there will be Oilers fans right now who feel like that was a one-off and you guys are going to win the next 4 games. It's different than what I thought the series was going to look like. I'm a little bit, I don't know the words, surprised. And I'm surprised by how it went, but just the Panthers have a formula, right? We got a pretty good, solid formula. And that wasn't it. I mean, the Bob part was it. But I think at one point, it was like halfway through the third period, and they put Kachuk's numbers up there, and he played like 13 minutes. So we were rolling that fourth line out there, the third line out there a lot, too, that Lundell, Luosterainen line with Tarasenko. They didn't get any goals, but they got chances, they got puck possession, and those guys are just so smart with the puck. There was one play where Lundell had gotten to the puck, and it was in the Panthers' defensive zone, and he was about 2 feet from the blue line. And instead of just haphazardly sending it down and probably losing possession, he stopped and he turned around and he went back and he skated into the zone in between the circles and just waited for us to get our stuff together. And those little plays like that, that's going to be the difference, because I think in those first 2 periods, Maurice said we were tight a little bit, but I think the word I would have used is panicking a little bit. I think the Panthers were surprised by just how intense the Oilers were going to forecheck, and we weren't quite sure how quickly, what to do with the puck and to move it that quick. We adjusted as the game went on. We got a little bit more safe and secure with our passes, and just if we had to eat the puck along the boards or skate it into the zone, even though a couple times, like Bennett skated into the offensive zone, tried to get a little bit too far in, poke check off, we got to be careful with that. All right? I mean, the goal, it's funny, because the Rodriguez goal, as we're coming into the zone, as we're dumping the puck in, I'm saying, there you go, chip it in, chase, and the puck goes back behind the net, comes out to Rodriguez, boom, it's in the back of the net. And that was really the biggest difference in the game. I know we had the early goal, but that 2-0, that's a whole big different planet other than 1-0. When you start talking about there's 12 minutes left, 10 minutes left, 8 minutes left, 2 goals, big, much bigger difference. So Panthers get game 1. This series, I don't know what to think about this series from here, right? Though, that was not the prototypical Panthers game in terms of allowing that many chances and not getting the chances that we would normally get. But we won the game. And we do have a tendency, the Panthers do have a tendency when we have 4 or 5 days off. The first game back we're usually discombobulated and we don't look all that right. And certainly the first 2 periods, we didn't look all that right. But Bob saved our ass. And that's the last thing I'll say is that, it's team, right? It's the whole team. Just like Edmonton would not be able to be here if Skinner had not played so well the last couple series. Bobrovsky, that's the last line of defense. Yeah, the Panthers won a forecheck and back check and hit, and it was a very physical game. We want to do all the things. We have the offensive zone. We want to have all that. But at the very end, if that fails, just like Tampa, when they won cups, we've got Bobrovsky. I mean, look, it was a 50-save shutout that Vasilevsky pitched on the Panthers to eliminate us when we were the President's Trophy team. It's 50 shots. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's fantastic that Vasilevsky had 50 saves, but Tampa allowed 50 shots. So, teams, sometimes it's just that last line of defense. And that's what got Oilers cooked tonight. Cooked? Oilers? I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, Jesus, I can't believe we won that game. I think that's what I'm trying to say is, I'll take it. I think that's what I'm trying to say is, I'll take it, and we'll move on to game 2. And now we only need to win that many more. All right. Oh, boy. Thank you all for joining us in the stream. We had like 300 people. You all throwing us enough money to go. I'm going to retire soon, huh? I can grow a new finger. Don't play with your lawnmower when you're distracted talking to somebody else. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. The finger is still there because my girlfriend is a nurse. And that's all I'm going to say about that. All right. Colin and I will be live at noon tomorrow. And then, 1.5 hour before game 2 on Tuesday. It was a great night. Matthias was here, so he got to see us win. We did not have to go to overtime. And then we've got game 2 Tuesday. I mean, that's it. I'm not saying that's the series. Every game is the series. But if we have a repeat of the style of this game and Edmonton wins, it could be issues, right? And I'm sure Oilers fans right now, though you lost, I'm sure. I would be surprised if you all are not feeling like you're comfortable with winning this series right now. Panthers, we could play a lot better than that, too, on defense. I mean, there's some things that Edmonton's going to do that we're just not going to stop. But some of that, I'm not going to say it was nerves or tight or any of that, but we can play a lot better than that, too. So I think you might see, too. I'm still so surprised that Edmonton just wants to go up and down the ice because maybe they didn't realize the Panthers could do that, too. We've still got most of the President's Trophy team when that's all we did was go up and down the ice. So, we want to play that way, we'll play that way. All right. It's one game. It's one game. I'm going to live. I might cut off other body parts for the end of the series. We'll see you tomorrow.